All right, so are you ready to dive into some seriously fascinating stuff?
Always hit me with it.
We're talking hostage negotiation today.
Oh, wow.
Our listeners sent in excerpts from Never Split the Difference,
Okay, yeah. By Chris Voss.
former FBI hostage negotiator. And this book
Yeah.
is mind-blowing.
It's really good.
So we're not all facing down,
Right.
armed criminals every day.
Not usually.
But the techniques in this book,
Yeah.
they apply to like every
Everyday situation.
negotiation,
Yeah.
from salary
Mm-hmm.
to even just like
Totally.
deciding on dinner.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I thought was so interesting
Yeah.
was this whole concept of the power of no.
Yeah.
It seems so counterintuitive,
Right.
right? We're always told to be positive. Go
Yeah.
for the yes.
Yeah, be agreeable.
I'll be agreeable, yeah.
Yeah. And Voss is
Yeah.
like, no, no, no.
He makes a really good point.
No is where it's at.
Yeah.
When somebody says no, it doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
they're not going to come around.
Right.
It often means they're trying to feel a little bit in control,
Mhm.
get a sense of safety, in the conversation
Okay.
before they're going to move forward.
So instead of pushing for that yes right away,
Right.
you create space for no.
Totally. Think about it. Like
Okay.
when a telemarketer calls you
Yeah.
and they're like, yes or no, are you interested in this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, yes, you want this, right? And they're
yeah.
just like really pushing you.
Oh, yeah.
You just want to hang up, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's so pushy.
So pushy.
Yeah.
But what if they were like, I understand if you're not interested,
Okay, yeah.
but, and then they let you kind of say no.
Okay, yeah.
They acknowledge your hesitation.
Yeah.
You might be more willing to listen.
Right.
Really.
That's true. It's like by acknowledging the resistance,
Yeah.
you kind of lower people's defenses.
Yep.
Voss actually talks about how
Yeah.
before becoming a hostage negotiator,
Mhm.
he was told to volunteer at a suicide hotline.
Right. And that experience was huge for him because he realized that when
Yeah.
people are in a crisis, forcing them to say yes
Yeah.
or trying to get them to say yes,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
It's about giving them the space to say what they need to say,
Mm-hmm.
to feel heard.
Yeah.
And that's where that no can come in.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like just allowing that space
Mm-hmm.
for someone to have their feelings.
Right.
It kind of makes them more open.
Yeah, because it also
Interesting.
it helps you understand, are they giving you like a counterfeit yes?
Oh, yeah.
Just to be polite or get out of the situation?
Yeah.
Or are they giving you a real yes?
Right.
One that's an actual commitment.
So how do we apply this?
Right.
Say, like, in a negotiation at work,
Mm-hmm.
say you're asking for a raise. You
Yeah.
just walk in and you're like, nope,
Uh-huh.
not taking anything less than this.
I mean, not exactly. It's more about understanding the value of no
Okay.
and how to create space for it, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, you could acknowledge the challenges,
Okay.
maybe the budget constraints, right?
Yeah.
And almost kind of invite them to say no to your initial request.
So you're like preemptively addressing their potential objection?
Exactly.
All right.
And then you're showing them that you understand their perspective,
Okay.
which builds trust and rapport
Yeah.
and makes them more likely to actually listen to your counter arguments.
Okay. That's an interesting strategy.
Right.
It's like flipping the script.
It's a little bit of a mind game.
Okay. So we've talked about the power of no,
Okay.
but Voss also really emphasizes
Mm-hmm.
the importance of something he calls tactical empathy.
Oh, yeah.
this
a
is-
big one.
Where he gets into like the psychology of negotiation. Right.
Yeah. He argues that those traditional approaches
Mm-hmm.
that focus so much on logic and rationality
Yeah.
miss this crucial element,
Right.
emotion.
Emotions are huge. Right.
Yeah. And we know how much emotions can cloud our judgment.
Even when we think
They're-
we're being totally logical.
When we think we're like Mr. Spock,
Yeah. Exactly.
totally rational,
Yeah.
but we're not.
And Voss points out that even the FDI,
Right.
who, were initially
Yeah.
very much influenced by that,
Yeah.
getting to yes philosophy,
Yeah.
had to kind of evolve their approach.
Right.
Especially when it comes to hostage negotiation.
Right. Because you can't exactly,
Yeah.
have this rational conversation with someone
Oh.
who's holding a gun to a hostage's head,
Yeah. Totally. Hostage negotiators have to understand
Right.
what's really driving that person.
Okay.
Is it fear?
Yeah.
Is it anger.
Desperation, what's going on beneath the surface.
Right. So it's not just about getting them to say yes.
Right.
It's about understanding
It's about figuring out what's really motivating them.
that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finding a solution that addresses that.
That satisfies everybody's needs.
Yeah.
And he calls it tactical empathy
Okay.
because it is, it's using empathy to your advantage.
Yeah.
But it's not about being a pushover,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's about leveraging emotional intelligence.
Okay. Yeah.
To get what you need.
So how to achieve your goals?
Yeah. How do hostage negotiators actually apply that? Like in a high-pressure situation?
Well, one of the simplest techniques,
Okay.
and surprisingly effective,
Okay.
is mirroring.
Mirroring.
Yeah.
Like looking in a mirror.
Not quite. It's about subtly imitating,
Okay.
their body language,
Okay.
their tone of voice,
Mhm.
even their words.
It's like a little parrot.
Why would that be effective, though?
Well, our brains are wired to trust
Okay.
people who are like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody is mirroring our behavior, even subtly,
Okay.
it creates a sense of connection and rapport
Yeah, yeah.
subconsciously.
So it's like sneakily building trust
Total.
without them even knowing it.
Yeah. And Voss gives this great example in the book.
Okay.
He's negotiating with a bank robber, right?
Yeah.
Tensions are super high.
Oh, yeah.
And he just mirrors the last 3 words that the guy says.
Okay.
And it changes the whole game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The robber pauses, looks at him,
Okay.
and then he starts talking.
Really?
It's like it just kind of broke down that barrier,
Yeah.
And just having that little bit of mirroring, just 3 words.
Wow. So it sounds almost too simple.
It's crazy how effective it can be.
Yeah.
And there's research to back it up, too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Psychologist Richard Wiseman did this study
Right.
with waiters.
Oh, wow.
And he found that the waiters who mirrored their customers' behavior
Okay.
got significantly larger tips
Really?
than those who didn't.
Okay, so
It's wild.
it's going in my toolkit, for sure. Mirroring.
Mirroring.
But what about situations where someone's really angry
Yeah.
or upset?
Well, in those situations, Voss recommends another technique,
Okay.
labeling.
Labeling.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
So you basically give a name to the other person's emotions.
Okay.
So if somebody seems angry, you might say,
Well.
you seem frustrated.
So you're acknowledging their feelings,
Exactly.
but in a very specific way.
Right.
Okay.
And when you do that,
Okay.
you're validating their feelings.
Okay.
You're helping them feel heard and understood.
That makes sense. Because when someone acknowledges your feelings, you feel like they're really listening
Totally.
and taking you seriously.
Yeah. It makes a huge difference.
Okay.
And Voss, he uses this example
Okay.
of the New York Giants ticket sales team.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
The old script they were using
Mhm.
was just all about the features and benefits of season tickets.
Oh, okay.
And it just wasn't very effective.
Shocker. People probably ignored their calls.
People ignored their calls. They weren't calling back.
Yeah, yeah.
So they revised the script.
Okay.
And instead of focusing on the features, they started labeling the fans' emotions.
Oh.
They would acknowledge that it was tough economic times.
Yeah.
And they would say, we know our loyal fans are struggling,
Okay.
but you've been with us for so long.
Yeah.
And that little change made a huge difference.
It did.
They were able to build rapport,
Wow.
set up payment plans,
Oh.
and actually close deals
Wow.
just by acknowledging those emotions.
So it shows the power of understanding those emotional drivers behind decisions.
Exactly. And Voss makes a point that labeling is not just for
Go.
calming down angry people,
Go.
right? It can help you uncover
Okay.
those hidden needs and motivations
Yeah.
driving people's behavior.
Okay.
So it can be used in a lot of different situations.
Okay. Labeling is definitely going on my
It's
list
a good one.
of negotiation tactics to try.
Yeah,
Seems like a really simple
it is.
but effective way
Yeah.
to build rapport.
It can really shift the dynamic of a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. This is all
Yeah.
so insightful.
It's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah, there's so much more.
Voss has so many more
So much more.
fascinating techniques to share. And I can't wait to delve into them.
Me too?
I'm still thinking about those mirroring and labeling techniques.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how
Yeah, they're so simple.
such subtle things
Right.
right,
But they can make a big difference.
they make such a big impact.
Totally.
So
It's all about...
that brings us to
It
another concept
Yeah.
from the book.
It really...
Calibrated questions.
Oh, yeah. Calibrated questions. This is a good one.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Okay.
What are calibrated questions?
So think of them as
And how do they work?
carefully crafted questions that are designed to
Okay.
guide the conversation
Okay.
without seeming controlling.
Okay.
So instead of making statements or demands,
Mhm.
you ask questions
Okay.
that start with how or what.
Okay, so for example,
Yeah,
instead of saying,
right.
you need to get this done by Friday,
Yeah.
you might ask,
You could say,
how would you be able to get this done by Friday?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not dictating.
Yeah.
You're inviting them to problem solve with you.
Got it.
Right. It makes them feel more in control.
And that can lead to more creative solutions too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
They're coming up with the how,
Yeah.
not just reacting to a demand.
Okay.
And Voss points out that calibrated questions are particularly effective when you need to say no
Wait, how does that work?
without actually saying the word.
Give me an example.
Okay, so one of his favorites
Okay.
is, how am I supposed to do that?
Oh, okay.
It's brilliant
Yeah.
because it gently pushes back on a request
Yeah.
without being confrontational.
So instead of just like shutting it down,
Yeah.
you're essentially asking them to
Say-
explain how it would be possible.
You're putting the ball back in their court,
Okay, yeah.
you know? And they either need to come up with a workable solution
Mm-hmm.
or reconsider their request altogether.
Okay.
And he even tells this story about a student who used this very question to secure funding
Wow.
from the MBA dean for an alumni event in Dubai.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Right.
Calibrated questions are like a negotiation superpower.
It's a good one.
I love it.
Okay.
But what about those situations where you're
Gotcha.
not even sure what questions to ask?
Mm-hmm.
What if you're dealing with a situation
Right.
where you don't have all the information?
Yeah, that brings us to one of the most
Right.
intriguing concepts in the book,
Okay.
black swans.
Black swans. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
I did.
It sounds kind of mysterious.
It is a little bit.
Can you remind me
Yeah.
what black swans are all about?
So Voss borrows the term from the writer Nassim Taleb.
Okay.
And, think about it like this.
Okay.
For centuries, people in Europe only knew about white swans.
Right.
And then explorers went to Australia
Mhm.
and bam, black swans.
Oh,
All right. It shattered their assumptions
Yeah.
about what a swan could be.
got it. Okay.
So black swan is basically a
Okay.
game-changing piece of information.
Yeah, okay.
Something that completely upends
Yeah.
your understanding of a situation.
Okay, so how do we even begin
Yeah.
to find these hidden gems of information?
So Voss argues that black swans are often hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
We just need to train ourselves to see them.
Okay.
And he tells this gripping anecdote
Okay.
about a bank robbery standoff
Well,
where a hostage was tragically killed.
oh, no.
And it underscores how crucial it is to
Yeah.
uncover those black swans
Yeah.
that might contradict our assumptions.
What happened in that bank robbery?
So the negotiators
Okay.
went in assuming
Okay.
that the bank robber was just a desperate criminal.
Right. Okay.
They focused on negotiating a surrender,
Okay.
a safe exit,
Right.
but there was a crucial piece of information they didn't know.
What was that?
The robber had just murdered his wife
Oh, wow.
and her new boyfriend.
Okay, so that changes everything.
It does.
It means he wasn't just trying to escape.
Right. He was
Right.
potentially suicidal,
Right.
desperate to avoid capture at any cost.
And that information
Yeah.
could have totally changed how they approached the negotiation.
Completely.
Wow.
Right. So that hidden information, that black swan, could have completely changed the game.
Okay, so how do we avoid missing
Right.
those crucial black swans?
That's the million-dollar question.
It feels like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
It can feel that way,
Yeah.
but Voss says it starts with recognizing the 3 common mistakes that prevent us from seeing black swans.
Okay, what are those?
Number 1, not preparing adequately.
Okay.
It's easy to go in thinking we know everything,
Yeah.
but thorough preparation is essential.
Okay, so we need to do our homework.
Yeah,
Gather as much information as possible
so much as you can.
about the other party.
Yeah.
Their motivations, their background.
Their history, all of it.
Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2, rushing to judgment.
Okay.
Voss warns against labeling the other party
Okay.
as crazy or irrational
Right.
without trying to understand their perspective.
Because what seems irrational to us.
Totally.
Right.
Might make perfect sense to them
Yeah.
given their circumstances and belief.
Yeah. Okay, and what's the third mistake?
The third mistake is not listening deeply enough.
Oh. Wow.
We're often so focused on getting our point across
Mhm.
that we miss those subtle cues,
Okay.
those inconsistencies or slip-ups
Yeah.
that might hint at a black swan.
So it's about being fully present,
Mm-hmm.
actively listening
Active listening, yeah.
to what they're saying, but also paying attention to
Yeah, their body language,
nonverbal cues.
their tone of voice,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, okay.
And he says, black swans often hide
Okay.
in the religion of the other party.
When you say religion, you mean...
Not their literal religious beliefs,
Okay.
but their core values and motivations.
Got it.
Right. What truly drives them.
Yeah.
What they deeply care about.
Because once you understand their core beliefs...
You can start to see the world from their perspective.
Yeah. And uncover those black swans.
Yeah. This is mind-blowing stuff.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It feels like we're moving beyond, like,
It is.
traditional tactics.
Totally.
Into the realm of psychology.
Psychology and a little bit of detective work.
A little bit of detective work. I like that. Okay.
Right.
So we've talked about
Yeah.
understanding people.
Yeah.
And Voss has some fascinating insights
He does.
into different bargaining styles.
Yes.
Are we talking about personality types?
Kinda. Yeah. He's identified 3 main negotiation archetypes.
Okay.
The analyst,
Okay.
the accommodator,
Okay.
and the assertive.
Woo! I love personality types.
They're fun.
Tell me more.
Okay.
Okay, what are the key traits?
So let's start with the analyst.
Okay.
They are methodical, detail-oriented.
Okay.
They thrive on data.
Okay.
Think spreadsheets, charts, carefully researched arguments.
Got it.
They take their time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to be rushed.
Okay.
Silence doesn't bother them.
They'll happily wait you out.
So patience is key
Patience is key.
when you're negotiating with an analyst.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't expect a quick decision.
Okay.
They need to weigh all the options before committing.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the accommodator?
All right. So accommodators are all about building relationships
Okay.
and creating harmony.
Okay.
They're empathetic,
Mm.
good listeners,
Okay.
and they prioritize finding solutions
Mm-hmm.
that make everyone happy.
They sound lovely.
They are very nice people.
But can their desire for harmony
It can.
like backfire in a negotiation?
It can, yeah, because they might avoid
Okay.
voicing their own needs or concerns
Right.
for fear of rocking the boat,
Yeah.
which can lead to agreements
Yeah.
that don't actually serve them well.
So it's important to make sure that they feel comfortable
Totally.
expressing their perspective
I'm sure they feel heard.
and that we're not just
Yeah,
like steamrolling them
exactly.
with our own agenda.
You want to make sure it's a collaborative process.
Okay, now
Yeah.
the assertive type.
Right, the assertive type.
It seems like they might be
They are, as the name suggests,
the toughest nuts to crack.
assertive.
Yeah.
They are direct,
Got it.
confident. They value efficiency.
Okay.
Time is money for these folks.
Got it.
They want to get things done quickly.
Okay.
And they often see silence as weakness.
So they're the ones who are going to come in
Yeah.
with like a clear agenda,
Clear agenda.
and they're not afraid
Nope.
to push for what they want.
They're going to go after it.
Yeah.
And they're going to fill any silence
Yeah.
with their perspective. They might interrupt.
Okay, so knowing these different styles
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crucial.
It's like having a cheat sheet
Yeah.
to understanding how the other person
Yeah.
might approach the negotiation.
It's like knowing their playbook.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
Let's start with the analyst.
Okay.
How do you win them over?
All right. So first and foremost, be prepared.
Okay.
Analysts do their homework.
Okay.
They're going to come to the table
Mhm.
armed with data and logic.
Okay.
So you need to be ready
Okay.
to counter their arguments
Yeah.
with solid evidence.
So no gut feelings
No gut feelings.
or vague promises.
It's got to be facts and figures.
Okay.
And remember, they value accuracy and precision.
Okay.
So use clear, concise language.
Got it.
Avoid any ambiguity.
Okay, and patience.
Right.
Patience.
We talked about how they
Lots of patience.
like to take their time.
Yeah.
Don't try and rush them.
Don't rush them.
Okay. All right, we've got the analyst covered.
Okay.
What about the accommodator?
All right, so the key with accommodators
How do we make sure
is building rapport and trust.
that their needs are met
Yeah.
while still
They're much more likely to concede
achieving our own goals?
to someone they feel a connection with.
Okay, so it's about finding that common ground.
Find that common. Highlighting shared values.
Absolutely.
Creating that
Find that rapport.
positive collaborative atmosphere.
Yeah. Start by actively listening
Mm.
to their concerns,
Yeah.
validating their emotions,
Right.
make them feel heard and understood.
And resist the urge
Yes.
to dominate the conversation.
Give them space to express themselves fully.
Okay.
And focus on finding solutions that benefit both sides.
Got it.
Emphasize the win-win
Yeah.
aspect of the negotiation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, now, what about the assertive type?
All right.
For
They
example-
seem like
This is where it gets tricky.
they might be the toughest
Yeah.
nuts to crack.
They can be challenging,
Yeah.
but there are ways to navigate
Fair.
their assertiveness
Okay.
effectively.
Well-
First and foremost, don't be intimidated
Okay.
by their directness or confidence.
Okay.
Stand your ground.
Okay.
Be clear about your own needs and expectations.
So be assertive right back at them.
You got to be assertive right back.
And be prepared to move quickly.
Okay.
Assertives value efficiency.
Okay,
So don't drag things out unnecessarily.
got it.
Come to the table with a clear idea of what you want
Yeah.
and be ready to make decisions promptly.
Okay, now what about silence?
Silence is a big one.
We talked about how they tend to
They don't like silence.
see it as weakness.
They see it as a weakness.
So we just avoid those awkward pauses.
Voss actually suggests using silence strategically.
Okay,
So if they make an aggressive demand,
okay,
don't immediately counter.
okay,
Just pause.
okay,
Let the silence hang in the air
okay.
and see how they react.
It's like a power move.
Psychological power move.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're forcing them to reconsider their position
Got it.
and potentially even bid against themselves
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
And remember, these are just archetypes.
Right.
Most people are a blend of different styles.
Of course.
Right. So the key is to be observant.
Adaptable
Mm-hmm.
and willing to adjust your approach
Yeah.
based on the individual you're dealing with.
Yeah. This is all such valuable information.
It is. I feel like I'm
It's fascinating stuff.
getting a whole new level
Oh.
of understanding about
Yep.
negotiation.
It's a whole new world.
It is.
Yeah.
And Voss's insights
Yeah.
are
Game changers.
game changers. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he has so much more to share
Oh, yeah.
in part 3.
So much.
And we're going to
more.
explore how these techniques play out.
Yeah.
There's truly high-stakes situations.
Right. Hostage negotiation.
Hostage negotiation.
Get ready for some seriously gripping stories
Oh, I'm ready.
and mind-blowing tactics.
Okay, so we're back for the final part,
Yeah.
our deep dive into negotiation.
I'm excited for this.
And I'm ready to hear how this all plays out.
Yeah.
And there's really intense
Okay.
hostage situations.
So it's amazing how the field of hostage negotiation had evolved.
Yeah.
You know, Voss talks about,
How, in the early days, the FBI was heavily influenced by that.
okay,
Getting to, yes, philosophy.
okay, so finding the win-win.
Finding that win-win solution,
Yeah,
which,
which sounds great,
sounds good in theory.
but I imagine
Yeah.
doesn't always translate.
Not so much in hostage situations.
Hostage situation.
Because you're often dealing with individuals
Hmm.
who are driven by extreme emotions.
Right.
Fear, anger, desperation.
Yeah, okay.
Calm, rational approach.
Yeah,
Doesn't always cut it.
so they had to adapt
They did.
their methods.
Yeah, Voss talks about how the FBI started incorporating
Okay,
psychology,
Mm.
empathy,
okay.
even a bit of what he calls black magic.
Black magic, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm picturing Chris Voss
Right.
as some sort of negotiation wizard.
He does have a way of making these complex situations
Yeah.
seem almost solvable.
Solvable, yeah.
But when he talks about black magic,
Yeah,
he's referring to those subtle psychological techniques that can influence behavior
okay.
without the other person even realizing it's happening.
It's like those Jedi mind tricks.
Exactly.
Using the Force
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
subtly persuade
A
people.
little bit of mind control,
Okay,
but for good.
give me an example.
Okay.
How does this work
Oh,
in a real-life negotiation?
he tells the story
Okay.
about negotiating with kidnappers in Haiti
Okay.
who were demanding a huge ransom
Yeah.
for an American businessman.
Oh.
And instead of countering with a lower number,
Right, which is what most
which is what you would think to do,
would do, yeah.
Voss started by
Okay.
painting a very bleak picture
Okay.
of what could happen to the hostage.
So he focused on the potential losses.
Yes.
Okay.
Talked about how dangerous Haiti was,
Yeah.
how the hostage could get sick,
Yeah.
how the kidnappers could lose patience,
Oh, okay.
things could escalate.
So by the time he actually
it was all about
got around to talking about the ransom,
anchoring their emotions
yeah,
to those negative possibilities.
they were already feeling the pressure to
Totally.
avoid those worst-case scenarios.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'd subtly shifted their perception of the situation,
Okay.
making the ransom, even a reduced one,
Right. Yeah.
seem like the best option.
Wow.
Right.
That's incredible. It's like
It's like he used their own fear against them.
he used their own fear against them.
Yeah.
but in a way
Right.
that ultimately
But for good.
led to a better outcome?
It got everybody what they wanted.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
And it's such a great example
Yeah.
of how
Stuffing
understand.
reality is definitely
Yeah.
going in my mental toolkit.
It's a powerful one.
But we also talked about uncovering black swans.
Black swans.
Those crucial pieces of information
Absolutely.
that can change the game.
Right.
How does that play out in a hostage situation?
Well, Voss says it all starts with exceptional listening skills.
Okay.
And he gives this chilling example
Okay.
of a hostage situation that went tragically wrong
Oh, no.
because the negotiators missed a crucial black swan.
What happened?
They were dealing with a man
Okay.
who had taken hostages inside a bank.
Okay.
And they assumed he was just a desperate criminal,
Right.
motivated by money.
Okay.
And they focused their efforts on negotiating a surrender.
Sounds reasonable.
It does.
Yeah.
But here's the black swan they missed.
Oh, yeah.
Just hours before the bank robbery, this man had murdered his wife
Oh, my gosh.
and her new boyfriend.
Wow. So that
That changes everything.
completely changes
Right.
the situation.
It means he wasn't
Yeah.
just trying to get away with a crime. He
Right.
was likely suicidal, desperate,
Yeah.
and incredibly dangerous.
And had they known that,
Right. And that one piece of information.
that one piece of
Yeah,
information,
had they known it, it could have completely changed
their approach.
their approach to the negotiation.
Wow. So it's a reminder that you can never assume
Yeah.
you have all the information.
You never know.
There could always be those.
You never know what's lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah, those hidden factors
Those hidden motivations.
driving someone's behavior.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why Voss stresses the importance
Yeah.
of suspending disbelief,
Okay.
of not going in
Right.
with preconceived notions
With your own assumptions.
about who the other person is
Yeah,
or what they want.
So it's about staying open, being observant,
Be observant.
and listening
Listen.
for those clues that might reveal a black swan.
For those little details,
Yeah.
that could change everything.
And remember you said black swans
Yeah.
often hide
They often hide in the religion of the other party,
in the religion.
their core beliefs, values, and motivations.
Okay, yeah, so understanding.
Right. What truly matters to them. What drives their decisions.
Because once you understand that,
Yeah.
you can frame your arguments in a way that
You can connect with them on a deeper level.
resonates with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It's about finding that common ground,
Common ground.
even in the most extreme situations.
Yeah, this is incredible.
And that's what's so brilliant about Voss's approach.
It really is.
Right. He combines those
Yeah.
hard-nosed negotiation tactics
Yeah. With the psychology.
deep understanding of psychology and empathy.
Yeah, it's a powerful combination.
It is.
I never thought I'd be taking negotiation advice
Right.
from an FBI hostage negotiator,
Who knew?
but this has been one of the most
It's fascinating stuff.
insightful deep dives ever.
It really is.
You know, it's amazing how applicable
Yeah.
these techniques are
Totally.
our everyday lives.
Totally. Whether we're dealing with a tough boss,
Yeah.
a difficult client,
Yeah.
even just trying to get our kids to eat their vegetables. Right.
Or do their homework.
Exactly.
Understand it.
The principles of negotiation can make a huge difference.
You know what strikes me most
Yeah.
about Voss's approach is that
Yeah.
it's not about
It's not about manipulation.
manipulation or trickery.
No, it's about genuine connection,
Yeah. It's about
understanding the other person's perspective,
understanding.
and finding those creative solutions that work for everyone.
Yes, finding those creative solutions that
Yeah.
work for everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm feeling so inspired
Yeah.
to put all of this into practice.
Me too.
Thanks for guiding me through this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a game changer,
I'm glad to hear that.
for sure.
Awesome. Well, keep diving deep.
I will.
Keep learning.
Yes.
And never underestimate the power.
A well-placed no.
I love that.
A carefully calibrated question
Yes.
and a little bit of that negotiation magic.
A little bit of negotiation magic. I love it.
All right, take care. All right, thanks so much for listening to this deep dive